Okay, my name is Sue Goode. I'm a member of Friends of the Library of the Casey County Library. I'm also an ex-kindergarten teacher, and so I want to talk to you about getting your child ready for next year in kindergarten. We have some real basic steps, uh, uh, things that your child should get ready for, and you can help them do it. One of the first things is following at least 2 to 3 step directions. That means if you tell them, go over to the table, pick up a pencil, bring it back here and write your name or draw a picture for me, whichever way they can do it. That means they can follow at least some basic steps. That's very important in kindergarten. They'll be having where they have to follow directions, like if the teacher says to line up or put your pencils away or your crayons away and then line up. They have to be able to follow directions. So you need to practice with your child following directions. Very simple 2 to 3 step directions. Another thing you have to be sure your child can do is he or she can speak in 5 to 6 word sentences, such as, I want to go to the bathroom, which will be a very important part of going to school when they have to leave to go to the bathroom. Or, I want a drink of water. Or, if they're hungry, when do we have lunch? Be sure to practice with your child. You can do this by role playing. You can pretend you're your child, and the child can be the parent or the teacher giving directions so that you can model the sentence format or structure and have them repeat after you, or they give the directions. That way they feel more a part of it in the learning. Another thing that the children have to be able to do is count from numbers 1 to 10 in order. Like, for instance, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And at that time, we're sending out some different cards with your kit, and one of them is the counting numbers. If you can, they do not need to know these numbers right at the beginning, but they should at least be able to count for you from 1 to 2. So you can, while they're counting, hold up the number 1, and as they go along, do number 2, and so on. We'll be sending some of these home with you. Also, at the very beginning of each of these little card stacks, they will have directions for you to follow. So it'll give you a variety of activities for your child to do and work on. We have a number of these here we'll be sending home with you. Another thing is for your children to know how to retell a story from the beginning, middle, and ending. And some of the very simple ones are things like nursery rhymes or fairy tales. Like, this is a book we have at the library. It's called This Little Piggy. And of course, if you know the nursery rhyme, this little piggy went to the market. This little piggy stayed home. It's an old favorite nursery rhyme and fairy tale. So you would ask, after you read this a couple of times, you would ask your child, well, what did the first little piggy do? And go on from there. And they're very simple because everybody knows about the piggies. A lot of people do it with their babies, in fact. So they should be knowing how to retell a story from the very beginning, the middle part, and the end. Another thing they should be able to tell is the difference between a make-believe animal like this little piggy, which is a fantasy or made-up piggy, and the difference between a real pig. They should know the difference between a factual book or factual something that's based on true life and something that is made up, make-believe, such as dragons. That is a made-up character, or unicorns. A lot of little girls are into unicorns. That at this time of age, when you're going into kindergarten, they're expecting to know the difference between a made-up animal, such as a unicorn, or a real animal, such as a horse, or something like fairies, or I'm going to the Kingdom of Oz. Some type of story that they should know the difference, and you explain it as you go along. Is this a true story? Did this really happen in life? Or is this one somebody has made this up and we made a fun thing up about it? So that's another factor they need to do. We'll be sending home some of these different items. We'll be sending home books like for colors, and they should know their basic colors too. So we'll be practicing that. They also will give you a chance to introduce the color word. They should also be practicing writing letters and numbers. So at least if they have start writing their names, be sure they know how to spell their name. And they use the capital letter at the very beginning and what we call the lowercase or the small letters at the rest of the name. That's a very important factor for the kindergarten teacher. Um, Also, we'll be sending home one of these, as I said, these little booklets, a storybook later on, such as one I showed you. And also we have different cards. One's about college. You should be, at this time, introduce your children to a concept of what a letter is, the difference between a letter and a number. If you have any questions, call the Casey County Library, and they can refer your questions to me, and I can give the different activities you would want. As I said, a lot of these cards have a lot of activities suggested in them. So I hope this has helped you and your child getting ready for school. Thank you. Bye-bye.